Hey everybody, hello good people of the world. My name is Crys'Dawna. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button. If you are not new here, welcome back friends and family. Today I'm going to be doing a piece for one of my clients. So she painted it for her daughter and decided she didn't like it. It is pretty cute. It's got like a little Aurora feel to it, a little Sleeping Beauty feel to it. But she wants some raised stencil and it to be just a little bit more elegant. And so we're going to change the hardware out. We're gonna do a raised stencil with a damask stencil, maybe do some blending, I don't know. Make it to where her daughter can grow into it. So this is for her daughter. This is a piece right here. It's a cute little chest. And we are going to make this over for her daughter. I hope you guys wanna see this. If you want to see that, stay here. I want to do a raised stencil on this piece, so I'm going to take Pureco's chalk color and porcelain and I'm going to mix it with their texture medium. This is going to create a mixture that's going to allow me to create a raised stencil. I do want to say that this piece was previously painted by my client and I knew what she used on it, so I cleaned it really well and did a light scuff sand before I started going in and doing other things with it. But I am going to mix this paint and this texture additive together, and so it's going to kind of be like a pancake batter consistency. I'm going to use a foam brush to put it on the stencil, but you could use whatever you want. You could dab it on with a paintbrush. You could use a plastic spatula. I'm going to brush it on and then I'm going to pull it up so that it creates a raised stencil on the drawer faces. Once my raised stencil was completely dry, I took my 3x4 electric ray and I'm just taking a 220 grit and I'm going to get any of that excess texture medium on there that maybe had bled over, and I'm also going to smooth down this stencil. So I'm not going to completely take it off, but I am just going to take the rough edges off of it. There were little pieces in the center that I felt like were missing something, so I'm just going to take a couple Would You Bend moldings and I am going to put those in the centers of the drawers. So what you're going to do with a Would You Bend is you're going to heat it up first, whether it's a heat gun or a hair dryer, and you're going to heat it up so that it's flexible. That way you can put it flat to the surface, because even though it seems like it's flat, it may not be. So you're going to heat it up. You're going to set it flat to your surface, and then once you're happy where it's at, you're going to put some wood glue on the back of it, and I use a paintbrush or I'm using a makeup brush to kind of spread it out to all the edges. I'm going to set it down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it up once again so that way it is flexible and that way it sits flush on the surface and I can push it down and it is going to stick and it's going to adhere flat. Once everything was adhered and dried, I went over the entire dresser with the color Petal. So this is Pureco's chalk line, and this is their color Petal. And I did 2 coats of this color on the entire piece before I went in and started doing some blending. Okay, so when I went in to blend, I used 3 different colors. I used Pureco's Chalkline, and I used FireBird, I used Petal, and I used Porcelain, and I'm going to show you that. So I have a fine mist mister bottle, and I'm going to mist the entire surface first, and then I'm going to go over the entire surface just lightly with Petal, okay, so that I have some moisture and we have wet paint. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline all the areas where I want it darker in the color FireBird. Now I know that that looks a little bit more red, but once we work it a little bit, it's going to lighten up into a dark pink. So FireBird is what I'm using right now. And then what I'm going to do is mist the area, and then I'm going to add Porcelain in any of the areas where I want highlighting, which is generally in the center or in between where the FireBird will be. So I want to keep this misted. Pureco is a chalk line, so it's going to blend really nicely. But after I did my Porcelain, I misted it, and then I went over the entire thing, horizontal, vertical, so that I could lighten it up just a little bit more. And then I sprayed it, and I went in with my clean, dry, neutral brush, and I am just marrying everything together. I'm blending everything together at this point. So right now, this is about where you place it. So if you place your paint in these areas and you use highlighting and shading, then later on you'll be able to just take a clean, dry, neutral brush and kind of push everything together. I wanted to add just a little bit more shading because I felt like it took it away and it lightened up a little bit. So I'm taking FireBird again, and I'm putting that in the areas I want it darker. And then I'm taking my clean, dry, neutral brush, and I am just going to smooth that around, go in circles, go horizontal, and this way I can create a blend. I'm going to add just a little bit more Porcelain in the center to lighten that up. But you can continue this. So if you want to add just a little bit more darkness, you can put that in different places. A little bit more of the highlighting, you can put that in places. And then you always just want to take your clean, dry, neutral brush, and you want to smooth that all out together. Once everything was dried and blended, I used Pureco's Satin Sealer, and I sealed the entire piece. Now this is water-based, and I'm about to use some wax on here to add just a little bit more dimension, and the wax is oil-based. So I don't want to put the oil-based wax on first and then put my water-based sealer over top of it. So I'm putting my water-based sealer on now, waiting for it to completely dry, and then I'm going to go in and use these different gilding waxes to create a little bit more dimension, and I'll show you that here in a second. This wax is from Art Alchemy, and this is from Prima Marketing. Art Alchemy is the line, and this is a pink gilding wax. And I wanted to add just a little bit darker of pink in some areas, so I'm taking a makeup brush and I'm adding that wax, and I'm just spreading it with my fingers so that I can add just a little bit more shading. Then I'm also going to use their Decor wax in Eternal, which is a gold, and I'm going to apply that with my fingers. So I'm just adding some dimension in the areas where there's already some shading with that FireBird. I'm going to put this pink wax over top of it just to deepen it and make it a little bit more intense. And I'm also going to put the gold wax so that I can add just another color and layer of dimension to this piece. Everybody, I did not get a chance to do an outro because I was out of the country last week teaching, but this is the final walkthrough of the piece, and there's going to be some final staging photos. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and until next time, happy creating, and I will see you guys later. Bye.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in